Hello, you guys. This is Sai, and today we are going to talk about real numbers. Okay, just to start off with, um, because we're going to be talking about real numbers, it's pretty smart to define them. So, real numbers are any point that's on the number line. Okay, so real numbers are basically any point that's on the number line. Now let's take a look at some examples. Some examples would include 5, 7, 13 over 9, 15 over 3, and pi. That's basically what real numbers are. It's basically any rational or irrational numbers. Okay? So now let's get started with adding and subtracting real numbers. So let's start with adding. Minus 4 plus 6 equals to what? Okay, so we're first going to, start with baby steps. We're going to start with the number line, and then as we progress and as we move on, we're going to stop using the number line. Okay, trust me, it gets easier. Don't worry about it. So minus 4 plus 6. So let's use purple for a negative 4, okay? So you start off with 0. You start off at 0 right over here, and then you're going to move to the left negative 4 spaces, okay? So we start off at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And right now we've landed at negative 4 because it's telling us to go to the left negative 4 spaces, okay? Now we're going to use this light blue for 6. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start off at negative 4, and then we're going to go to 6 spaces to the right, considering that we are adding. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that gets us to 2. Okay, so that would be our answer. Now let's look at a more of a tricky problem. Okay, so it says negative 4 minus 4 equals to what? So we're going to start with negative 4. So we're going to move left 4 places, just like we did over here, okay? So let's start off at 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now from negative 4, we're supposed to move. I'm sorry, this is supposed to say plus 4. I was like thinking to myself, why isn't this making sense? Okay, so now from negative 4, we're supposed to move 4 spaces to the right. Let's continue from negative 4, and we're going to move to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And guess where we are? We're back at 0. So that would be our answer. So negative 4 plus 4 equals to 0. Okay, now let us move on to subtracting. We are again going to do this pretty much similarly as addition, okay? So negative 2 is going to be purple. So let's start off at 0. From 0, we're going to move to the left 2 places. 1, 2. Okay? And then we are going to subtract negative 8, meaning that we are now going to move to the right 8 places. We're going to move to the right 8 places. So from negative 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that gives us 6. And that would be our answer. So now that we've used the number line, let's actually write this, algebraically. So we would have negative 2 minus negative 8. Okay? So we would just, have the normal negative 2. Now, the only difference that is between this one problem and this one, yes, obviously, subtraction is also different, but, we have 2 minus signs here. We have 2 negative slash minus signs. So now what will we do? We move to the right because, there are 2 negative or 2 minus signs. And now some people will basically say this as like, hey, whenever you have 2 minus signs, just do something called the positive peanut, okay? It's just a little silly way of just, helping you remember that when you have two negative signs right next to each other, you automatically turn it into a positive sign, meaning that you will afterwards add, okay? So -2, now we've established that that would turn into a plus sign, so -2 plus 8, and that would get you 6. And look at that. That's what we got, okay? So now we'll, just take a look at some shortcuts to, make this process way more easier. And so you wouldn't have to draw a number line every single time. Okay, so
Okay, you guys, so this is the end of part 1 of this video. And now head on and let's take a look at part 2, where we will be talking about adding and subtracting real numbers without using the number line and some shortcuts as well.